What's up, guys? We are back. This is The Real Deal with Casey and Jason, where Casey and Jason and Jason today. Where we talk,
Aaron.
And Aaron. Where we talk real life, real experiences, and just occasionally we talk about real estate. But we're back in the studio, the new studio, and we got some guests here. This one's been a long time coming, I feel like.
Yes.
Yeah. Getting my boy Yates on here.
but he did put a buzzer on me, so if I jump up out of my chair, it's because he buzzed me to stop talking.
The old ball coach.
Yeah.
The old ball coach. The original.
Isn't that
ball
Steve
coach, right?
Steve Spurrier?
Yeah,
Is that who that is?
Yeah, so Jason Yates, to everyone who doesn't know, which I'm pretty sure if you're listening, you probably do know him, but he was our high school baseball coach decades ago.
Long time
Was it?
ago.
It was
Long time ago.
Yeah, it was.
And he actually cost Broh Manor state title in 2006.
Oh, here we go.
I would love to hear about that.
Here
He likes to blame it on me, but I think
There's a lot of people you could blame that thing on.
yeah, you got a part in that too.
I did have
Yeah.
a part in that.
Yeah.
But so we got these guys here today to we're gonna just chop it up a little bit, talk about what you guys have going on too with the Broh Baseball League, and
Pop
kind
culture.
of like how that came about. Talk about pop culture. So I mean, why don't you guys get into it? Just kind of give us an intro on what you're doing there, how it came about, and what the mission is with it.
With the Broh Baseball League, start with?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can start with the
Whatever
Broh
you guys
Baseball
wanna
League.
do.
So it's crazy. So Casey and these guys know this. Jason knows this. I literally wanted to get involved doing something different with baseball for a while now. Just never really had the time, and it's funny because I followed Aaron on social media, and he's just doing things, and I'm like, man, this guy is awesome. Like, he is great.
Doing
like,
everything.
Yeah, he's doing what I want to do. So I just kind of had a couple baseball ideas. Being a baseball fan and a baseball enthusiast
An
like I am.
Astros fan. An Astros.
So I'm a baseball fan first. Baseball. So Nolan Ryan. That's why I'm an Astros fan. But I just reached out to Aaron and just kind of told him my ideas of what what I would love to do. I help out. I know he was the right guy to do it because I know his influence in the community is great. He's got a good name. Obviously, when you partner up with anybody, you want to be associated with the right people, right? So, people love Aaron. The community, backs him. They're all for helping him out. So I just kind of reached out to him and said, hey, man, I got this cool idea for baseball and getting kids better at baseball. And I love, you guys know this. I love baseball. I love teaching baseball. I love being around baseball. So it was kind of, a perfect fit. And I just kind of reached out to him. And honestly, he's done a lot, most of the legwork on it. And we're about ready to get started here soon because he already had Broh Baseball and Pops culture, which is very entrenched in the community in Cecil County, Hartford County, out that way. So, and you can kind of.
Well, it's kind of random too how I just randomly walked in Starbucks one day and you happened to be sitting in your office. And that's where
He said in your office.
Well, that's what he calls it, his office. So and so I
My
walked
second
in there
home.
and there he was. And so I went over and said hi, and we got talking, and he told me this. Like we talked plenty of times over social media, and almost like I think we were supposed to do this podcast last week or the week before, but me being me, I'm my own secretary, and I'm terrible at being a secretary, so my schedule everything is just terrible. So I walked into that Starbucks, and we got talking, and he gave me this. He's like, you ever do that thing where it's 4 versus 4 versus 4? What do you think about turning it into a league? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. That's genius. And then me being me, I don't really wait for anything. I hit the ground running, which sometimes can be dangerous if you ever jumped out of a car while it's moving and try to run. Like, you usually fall on your face. Thankfully, I haven't fell on my face yet. Yeah. But I just took it and started going and just started, I put together, helmet sticker program and, award programs and way to really help these kids feel like stars. And then I sent everything I did to Jason. I sent it to Tom Eller, who he coaches Hartford Community College.
Tommy.
Yeah, so he sent it to every baseball mind I knew, and they were like, this is a great idea. How can I get it? Everyone wanted to get involved, so then we just started going, and then we've done 3 scrimmages so far, and everybody loves it. It blows my mind just how much these people are into these ideas, and it's really just incredible to see. I'm glad Jason, it's what really impresses me the most is I respect Jason highly. I would never tell him that. But when he came, he sent me this text message, and it was something along the lines. He's like, I am envious of your life. He's like, you do so much of the things that I just want to do. And I'm so fortunate to be able to do what I do. I had 2 liver transplants, so I can't work a normal job because tomorrow I might not be able to get out of bed. Some days are just like that for me.
Yeah.
Thankfully, knock on wood, I've been healthy for 3 years. Actually, what's today?
24.
Yeah, we're closing in on my liver anniversary. So I just like, I get to do everything I want to do. So like everyone's like, oh, poor Aaron, you had to go through this. I'm like, oh no, chill out. Don't give me any sympathy.
Yeah.
I'm blessed. Like
Right.
I am the luckiest person in the world that I got sick because it gave me perspective.
Yep.
And it allows me to literally live the life I want. Like I lived a life like I'm a millionaire. I'm broke as hell. I don't know if I can say hell here. Hell's not
Yes,
that bad.
you're
They
good.
say hell on Nickelodeon.
You're good.
So I like literally, I mean, I just do baseball all day. I do basketball when the kids want to. I play with kids all day. Like I literally could do whatever I want. Like if I want to go fishing and not do any baseball stuff, I'm going fishing and doing baseball stuff. Like I just love life, and it's because like it took, you know, being on the brink of death. Like I pretty much had everything but my head in the grave, but it gave me perspective, and so here we are. And started the whole baseball
and I definitely want to hear more about that for sure. I don't understand the 4x4x4 thing.
So do you remember when we were playing, when I was coaching you guys?
Yeah.
We'd break up into small groups, right? So we'd break
Okay.
up into small groups. We got one group hitting, you know, one group in the field, this group in the field. And then
Gotcha.
what I would do with 4 groups years ago, depending on the numbers, with high school, we always carried 16 people. So we had 4 groups of 4. I'd have one group like hitting BP, getting ready to come in and hit. Well, what I started doing with some of my kids' little league teams, and with travel ball, and now his high school team at Tri-State, I'd break the kids up into even 3 teams. One team's hitting, 2 teams are in the field, and we rotate.
Gotcha.
And what it does is I'm pitching, so we're flying by faster.
Kids
The
are teeing off.
Kids
Yeah.
are getting, I'm getting roped just like hey, I'm a natural BP pitcher, right? So you know, and the kids are getting live, you know, they're getting live speed in the field,
Yeah.
right? And I'm throwing BP, so they're getting swings, and they're playing everything live, so they're running the bases, right?
Gotcha.
So it was just a great, you know, great way to do it. And one of the drawbacks nowadays that kids have with baseball, and you see it all the time, is too many kids standing around,
Yeah.
right? And it drives me insane when I see little league coaches hitting ground balls to 10 kids in a line,
Yeah.
right? Like that stuff right there just drives me insane. And then
Yeah.
you wonder why kids are quitting baseball to
Right.
go play basketball or football, right? Because it's just there's more stimulus there.
Yeah.
So, you know, what the Broh Baseball League does is just it's a faster paced game. You
Okay.
got 4 kids hitting, and I'm throwing mostly strikes, right? I mean, it's mostly strikes, right?
you
And
gotta
they're
keep it
hitting,
real
and
as
they're playing
possible.
live, right? And then we're switching, and it you know, even at the high school level. You know, when I was coaching this past year at Tri-State, the kids every day are like, "Hey, can we scrimmage today? Can we scrimmage today?"
Yeah.
And then I would I'd make sure I'd rearrange the teams, right? But you know, it's just kind of one of the things that I've done over the years, and
Gotcha.
it's especially good, you know, with you know, me being entrenched in travel ball the last couple of years. I saved my arms, so the pitchers are not pitching, so I'm throwing, but the pitchers aren't pitching. So
Right.
you know, now eventually we'll get into something maybe where some of the kids are throwing and stuff like that, just to get them some experience on the mound. But right now it's just more of a faster paced game, because you guys know inter squads could take forever, and
Yeah.
there's not a lot of action going on. You
Yeah.
got people standing around. This is just a better way to practice the game and get the game, especially for the younger age
Oh, yeah,
kids.
they need it.
That makes sense.
So we've done this 3 or 4 scrimmages, and like statistically, kids are getting 10 quality ABs in a game. We've been playing with the older division. We play everything like there's 1 out, and we put a runner on first. So even when there's 2 outs, they play it like there's 1. So a ground ball to short, they're still working on rolling 2. So like they're getting, like every inning, there's an opportunity to turn 2 multiple times. Like they're getting game quality reps at a high clip in a short amount of time. I mean, we get 5 innings in an hour and a half, and I mean, these parents love it. Like, and that's like when you do things with kids, it does like. That's who you got to please, because they're
Yeah.
the ones who sign the checks.
Well, and reps, man. Reps is, I mean, that's just life in general.
Game
That's
speed.
just,
Yeah.
yeah.
Game speed.
I mean,
Well,
as many reps as you
my
can
best
get.
friend played at Coastal Carolina. When he come back, and I was asking him a question years ago just to kind of get the feel of, you know, what he sees at that type of level, and he's like, everything we did was game speed.
Yeah.
He's like, you know, I mean, there was no rolling, you know, because you know how the beginning of the year is, where we're rolling balls to each other and all this stuff, which is fine for the younger ones, but eventually you want to get into those game speed reps.
And that's probably another biggest element of it too. Is like, I don't know how much you watch of like baseball at a younger level. Like the IQ is low, but no one has time to really practice IQ things. And like, so with Broh Baseball, we know when there's a teaching moment, we always take advantage of the teaching moment, because we're not worried about the wins and losses. We're worried about elevating them so they can have a dominant spring. And so what I've noticed is like just taking the time to like coach mid game, and that's like the beauty of it too. Is like with the network that I've created through Pops, like I have all these college players when they're home or around, like especially with Cecil College being right there, they want to be out there and involved, and
Right.
they don't want anything in return but feed them every now and then.
Yeah.
And it's just and so we're creating such a network. So now these kids are meeting college baseball players. Then in this world, they find their Snapchat. So now they're in constant communication. And I really coach these college boys up to, hey, man, look, like you were their role model. Mm-hmm. Take that seriously. Ask them about their grades. Teach them to not just compete on the field. You got to compete in the classroom. And I tell all these kids every day, I'm like, hey, C's and D's will get you a degree, but A's and B's are going to get you a scholarship. Like if you really want to be him, like you're posting on your Instagram, mm-hmm. you needed to be him in the classroom too. And they buy into it. I don't know why, but they really buy into the things that come out of my mouth, because that's what cost me every opportunity. Yeah, I'll never forget them. Like I called Tom Izzo. I had him on the phone back in high school, and he's like, "Hey man, your tapes look great. I don't know if you're really ready for this level, but you got what it takes. What are your grades like?" Oh, I was like, I kind of screwed up. I got a 1.9, but he hung up. And that was the last time I heard from a legitimate college coach. Yep. Wow. And I went the JUCO route, which I love and I appreciate. I don't regret any decision that I've made or the mistakes I made, because it's allowed me to do what I do. I literally can walk these kids through the process, and every step that I took wrong, I can just push them like, no, you don't want to step there. So they're avoiding all these little booby traps and stuff.
Oh, for sure.
And in today's world, it's such a fast pace. You got to be able to think on the fly and make adjustments on the fly. And no disrespect to a lot of parents around here, they just haven't done it. Mm-hmm. And if you haven't done it, you don't know how to do it. Yep. But with what we can offer them, because Jason's been there, done that, and a couple other people in our program, we're guiding these kids in the way they need to go. So they're just a lot of kids are lost right now, but with us, we can help them through Pops and with this bro stuff.
I think I'm different than Aaron. I regret a lot of things I've done in my life.
Well, I say
There's
I
a lot of
regret
regrets on there.
They ever invent a time machine, I'm going right back to probably 1999.
Yeah. What you were talking about is one of me and Casey's favorite sayings is how you do anything is what? How you do everything, right? Yep. So I tell my son all the time, he's 16, and I tell the kids that I'm coaching, if you want to be a great baseball player, it's not just about the field stuff. You got to be in the classroom, in the grades. You can't have a dirty room, and little things like that will affect other parts of your life.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? So you got to have you got to work on everything, all aspects of your life. So it's very important. So
I like the what you guys said about putting them in real life game situations, because that's the one thing you can do it in practice, but practicing, double cuts and practicing double plays and infield flies and, all these different things, you could practice it, but then when it happens in game speed, you don't always reflect to that immediately. Yep. So putting them in that position numerous times.
You know this from playing, D1 in college, and a lot of times the inter squads, you set up a situation where you got two runners on with one out, and you start the inning that way a lot of times, because they want to get you used to playing and, being prepared in those situations. So that's what, doing
I like that.
Especially with the practice, it's easy to make a play with no pressure, but pressure's a privilege, and you got to earn it. And by doing these, essentially we're practicing, they don't know that because it's competitive.
Yeah.
So we're creating the anxiety aspect by doing it, so they're catching and making these plays with a little bit of heat on them. So then when it comes, when it really starts to matter, when they're playing in high school games, or whether it's Little League All-Stars or travel ball championship games, they're ready. They're cool as a cucumber when everyone else is shaking in their boots, because they're made for it. They practice it. You got to expose yourself to situations and work through it. And that's and probably what it matters to me the most is because that's life too. So many people avoid. We've used this word trauma for everything. Life is trauma. Mm-hmm. You got to learn how to deal with it, or you're going to be stuck in your basement just shaking away and scared of the world. You can't do that if you really want to be successful. For me, it's with my transplants, my first transplant, I didn't want to deal with anything. I let the trauma get the best of me. It almost cost me everything that I care about. Second time around, God said, Aaron, you're not screwing this one up. I'm going to talk to you face to face. And he talked to me, and now when things hit the fan, I'm ready to be in the room, because I know I'm ready to face all my traumas, my anxieties, my depressions. I don't run from it, I run to it. Yeah. And I use the analogy for the buffalo in the storm, cows and other animals in the storm, they walk with the storm because they're trying to avoid it and outrun it. You're not outrunning any storm. Turn and face it and watch how much faster you get through it. And that's what we apply to everything. Face whatever you got going on.
Yeah, avoidance is a big problem, man.
Yeah, and that's we not we, because I would never. A lot of systems in our area they just make it really easy for these kids to have excuses. And I get COVID sucked, and it was really sucked for these kids, but it happened. We can't use it as a crutch or an excuse. Oh, well, so-and-so can't do this because COVID really messed them up, or he's got this. Great. We all do. Face it. And it's harsh, But if you really care about someone, you hold them accountable. And that's what we've really gotten away from. And that's what I do with Broh and Pops and everything. Like, accountables matters. Or accountability. Sorry, the English language is tough. So. But it matters, and that's what we've gotten away from. So that's like, I'm hard on these kids. But
that's
know
love.
I care. Yeah, and I tell them that all day. Like, what I've also noticed too is like, I'm hard on them, but when they go extra hard, I really try to like boost that up. And like I tell them all the time, like I don't care if you screw up physically. It's the mental, the emotional side of it. Like, you can't lose your cool. You can't have brain farts on the base pass, and that's what I focus on, because the errors are going to happen regardless. But if you berate them for their errors, then they're going to make another one. But if you let them know it's okay to physically make a mistake, they can make that play relax, and they're more than likely going to be successful. And that's on the field and in life. You know, if they're not afraid to mess up, they're going to come to you like, hey, Coach Aaron, like it happened to me today at Pops. This one kid lies all the time. This week, he came to he broke something. And I watched him break it, but I wanted to see his reaction before I did anything. And he broke it. He came to me, said, "Where's your vacuum?" Started handling the business, and I was like, "I'm so proud of you." He's like, "Why?" I was like, "Because you're growing." This kid's 8 years old. I was like, "You owned your mistake. You don't lie to me anymore. You own it, and we work through it. Here's $1. Go buy some popsicles." Yeah. So let them know, like, because when you reward the good behavior and the growth, they start to fiend for that feeling, because there's no better feeling than a breakthrough. But if you don't acknowledge it and give them the love, but you are quick to jump on their behind about everything they do wrong, all they do is get sneakier and try to hide and lie more.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's not hard. Like, I have no education. I'm dumb, but I'm doing it. Like, and it's working.
Yeah.
He's a commit first guy. Remember he said he takes something and runs. You know, our motto's always been commit first and figure out the rest.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
And funny thing is, like I said, when I went to him with the idea and he just started running with it, and I'm like,
that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, don't hesitate to reach out to me, man. I'll help.
Thinking I got to prepare. That's an excuse too.
Yeah,
to not do something.
Yeah.
Oh, it happens all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to do this, and this. Like, okay, well, what are you waiting for?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Just roll.
And that's like, it sucks too, because on the other side of the coin is, I've lost a lot of friends because of that mindset. But like, it's no hard feelings, but I'm going. Like, especially like my transplants has given me such a perspective. Like, I'm on borrowed time. My clock, I mean, all of our clocks are ticking. But I really got to see that. Like, and like, especially like, he saw that. Like, I don't know how much longer I have here. None of us do. But everyone in my life thought I was dead. Like, they literally pushed me in the hospital, and like they didn't think they were going to see me again. Joke's on them. I'm still here, and I'm still just as obnoxious as I was before. But now, like, I have such a drive and a passion to just be great for not for me. I'm like, I don't know if you guys knew me when I was younger, but I was pretty selfish, and I was a jerk. Well, no, I was a jerk, but I only cared about me, and that was it. Now I care about myself. I love myself, but I don't. My success and my happiness comes from like helping others grow. Like, we were at the Redskins game a couple nights ago, and this guy came up asking for money for these kids. Everyone else in my group who makes way more money than I do was like, nah, man, go ahead, get somewhere. I had $60 in my wallet. I gave him $60. And like, what is wrong with you? I was like, he's like, what if he's lying? I was like, I don't care if he's lying. That's on him. He said he's helping kids. I'm all about that. Here's that $60. I didn't need that $60. I'll get 60 more bucks, but those kids could use it. They're kids in DC. And if he's lying, between him and God.
Did they really say get somewhere?
Yeah. They were going get out of here. I'm like, oh, chill. Like, what's it? Like, why? Like, why? Like, people make a conscious decision to be rude, and I used to be that way. We don't have to be rude. No. You can like just show love, and if someone doesn't line up with you, like, no hard feelings. Just, live without them. Like, I don't get it, and that's with everything. Like, just
too much energy.
Yeah, literally. Like, I have no time. And that's what, like, I just bop around like SpongeBob SquarePants now, and people think I'm nuts, but I'm like, I don't get sad. I don't get mad because I'm not feeding that energy. Like, and my life has improved. My health is better. They think I should be on all these medicines, and they can't figure out why I'm so healthy. And I swear it's because I don't let my emotions control me on the negative side. Like, my brain is powerful, and like, especially like all the meds I'm on, like my blood pressure should be through the roof. And I'm like, nah, like I can manage this. Like, give me a chance. So they send me home with a blood pressure cuff that's like has Wi-Fi in it, so they could check. Like, I have to. If I don't check it, I get yelled at. One time, Knucklehead over here thought it'd be a good idea for him to check it, and a 12-year-old's blood pressure is way different. Blood pressure is way different than a 38-year-old's. 2 minutes later, my doctors are calling, panicking. You need to get to the hospital. Your blood pressure's through the roof. I'm like, chill. That was my son. Sorry about that. Let me check mine. And I check it, 120/80.
Wow.
Always. Like,
wow.
It's just perfect. Like, it's because I really think it's just the power of our minds. And I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. You got a pretty strong mind. I don't know much about you, so no disrespect.
It's all good.
But I know him. Like, I know how, like, it's.
Well, and it seems to me, Aaron, I think there's, when you're faced with certain things in life, and it sounds like you've been through quite a bit, you can go in either direction. Yeah. You can use that, and you've talked about this already, you can use that as an excuse, and it can be the reason that you can't do anything. Mm-hmm. But it seems to me, and I didn't know you intimately, I know you played basketball at Perryville, and you were a great athlete, and we played flag football with Jimmy D and all those guys.
Oh, yeah, good times. I forgot you were on that team. My brain's mush.
Yeah, but it seems like you have not only used those things that seem, you used the word trauma, very traumatic, and have used them to change the course of your own life, but other people's lives too. Mm-hmm. And I think that's extremely powerful, because most people are going to go the other way. Most people are going to use all of those things that happened to you as an excuse not to do something, as an excuse why you can't do something. And you're a great example of you doing the exact opposite. And I think that's profound.
Yeah, people come to me a lot with their complaints, and I'm just like, no matter how much you try to validate an excuse, still an excuse. And like you said, I could easily sit around and do nothing for the rest of my life, and no one would bat an eyelash. They totally understand. Yep. But what's that going to do for me? I'm going to sit there miserable, sad, and depressed. Mm-hmm. What do I love doing? Hanging out with kids, playing sports. So that's what I do.
Yeah.
That's why I reached out to him, because that's what I love.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
Yeah, I know.
That's why I said I was envious, man.
Like these past 2 weeks, I swear I got Kobe Bryant's liver. Because I don't like getting out of bed. But these past few weeks, my alarm, I don't have to be at Pops until 8, so I set my alarm for 7:30, because I'm the typical dude, wash your face, brush your teeth, out the door. I wake up at 4 a.m. ready to go, just naturally. And like, to me, that's not me. Yeah. I don't know where your guys' faith lies, but that's coming from someone above. Some people would say God. I'm gonna go with Kobe. But like, for real, like, it's just like,
I'm saying God.
Yeah, God, like, God's got me. Like, in my second transplant, I had 2 out-of-body experiences, and like, my niece was there who passed at 16, and she aged appropriately. And she told me, she's like, because my sister's been in a really sad spot since then. She's like, tell my mom I'm okay. The only thing that upsets me is the way she's living her life. So, and like, God gave me this option. He said, Aaron, he's like, you can come home now. You can come be here with us, and you'll never have to worry again. But I'm not finished with you yet. And so he gave me the option. I said, I want to go back. I woke up from a coma that I was in for 9 days. That's incredible. And started writing about Pops. I called my sister. And I said, Sissy, because I call her Sissy, even though I'm a grown-up. She has a real name, but I don't even know what it is. She's Sissy. And I said, Sissy, I talked to Jasmine. She just wants you to be happy. And she probably thought I was nuts, but she was like, she started crying. She's like, okay, Aaron, I will. And then my sister she's going to concerts now. She's got a better, she still gets sad, but you're not supposed to bury your kid, so I get it. But her life has improved. And so many people try to discredit these out-of-body experiences, like, oh, it's just the meds you're on, it's just that. And like, you can think that if you want. Don't take this from me. And because so many people are like, oh, well, God doesn't just talk to people. He's not going to see. You're not going to see him. That's not for him. It's like, that's what you think. Right? Mm-hmm. Don't push your views onto me, because I'm not pushing my views onto you. But it's given me such a powerful feeling. Like, I wake up ready to go, because I'm not doing what I want to do. I'm doing what God wants me to do. Yeah. And that is a purpose that we all have. We just got to be willing to find it. We have to get over ourselves. We have to stop being this negative in this world. It makes me so sad to see it.
Me too.
It drives me nuts, because these people are so lost. And you don't even have to find God. Find yourself. Yeah. But people are afraid to be real with themselves. And that's when my life got better, because I started being real with me. There's no secrets. There's no hiding. I am who I am. You either like it or you don't. It's not my problem to worry about it, because I got goals. And if you're not with me, you're not against me. But if you step against me, then I will go through you, because you're not going to stop me. And I take the mindset that I had as an athlete to what I'm doing now, and like, I really feel like I'm invincible. I mean, I know I'm not. Like, I'm pretty soft, actually, but like, my mind, like, nothing can throw me off from what I'm doing. And that's like, and now, like, with people like Jason and all these other people that get involved, like, we move together. And I say, like, we don't walk, like, there's no leader and followers, and I don't want to be a boss. Like, we lead together. Like, and I use the analogy, like, if you're walking in a line and there's a sniper and you're in a line, shoot you in the head, next, shoot you in the head, shoot you in the next. But if you walk together, side by side, he's got to make a lot more adjustments. It's going to be a lot more harder for him to get you if you guys are walking together opposed to lined up. So that's why I say, like, we're hand in hand. We're going at this together. and we're stronger that way. And there's no weak links. Like we are all equals, and but we all bring something different to the table. And like you're unstoppable that way. But so many people just can't get out of their own way.
Yeah, well, and I think, you clearly have a purpose, and other people feel a purpose. I mean, that's why you have so much success and building such a great community. It's because you have a purpose, and people can feel that. I mean, that's like a real thing. That's
infectious.
I mean, that's actually an energy
I'm
that is
fired up to like go right. Like I'm
I'm fired up too. Dude. I'm ready to go play baseball or do something.
We got roster spots on our over 30 team.
Hold on. I'm
over 40 team.
Point at him. Yeah.
No, you don't want to play over 40 baseball. The skill level at over 40 drops off significantly. Over 30 is where it's at. It's sometimes competitive.
Casey was playing over 30. He was
I played for a few years. Yeah,
I love it. We play in Harford County now. We playoffs start this week, and we play a team that's really good.
Yeah. Okay.
But actually, my cousin plays on a team. He pitched for UNC, and like he pitched for UNC, but he doesn't even crack the pitching roster on this team.
Wow.
Yeah, it sucks playing against him. Like I don't think they've lost. Like I've been playing in that league I've been a part of it for 8 years. I missed a few years when I was sick, but they haven't lost a game in the 8 years they've been there.
Goodness.
But that means they're due.
The Buccos.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say the team that me and Casey played for, they haven't lost since we left. Maybe we were the problem.
I was going to say, I don't know if you want to admit that, Jay.
No. But no, man, and that's why I say, like, Aaron just, his attitude, his presence is just infectious. Is one of the reasons I reached out to him. And it's cool. He talked about a purpose, man, because it's sadly, there's so many people in this world, and you guys know this, man. So many people just wander around and they don't find their purpose. And what are they living for, man?
They're living for, at least I know I have lived so much in my life for other people.
100%. Yeah.
And then that just makes you
blows up right in
sad
your face.
and depressed and everything, because everything that you do is not really for you. It's for somebody else.
And when you put expectations on other people, all they do is let you down.
Yeah.
I have no expectations for anyone, like ever. And they just don't get sad. Like if you screw up, that's on you. Or if you don't, do what you need to do, like you do. Like I have standards. Like I'm not gonna let anyone like disrespect me, but until you show up and put in the work, I got no expectations. I mean, because people talk all the time, but I'm doing it.
Let me ask you something. So, you went through something that obviously, like you said, you felt like you were
done for,
right?
Yeah.
Like most people considered you out. You probably had thoughts in your mind of like, this could be it. Like for somebody that didn't have an experience like that, or hasn't went through something like that, or hasn't lost, like for me, it wasn't me personally, but losing my dad, who was my best friend, that gave me the perspective, and actually had a similar like out of body experience I've never really talked about, but that experience to me just lifted all the weight off of me, off of my chest, and the sadness I was feeling. But for somebody who hasn't been through something that was traumatic or they don't have that perspective. Like, how do they find that? Like, what's your thought on that?
It's hard because it's easy to get lost in your own bullcrap. But it comes from, I don't even really know where it comes from. Like through all these years of the things I've went through over the last 8 years, I never thought I was going to die. But there was plenty of times where I called my girlfriend Allie and was like, I want to die. I'm sick of doing this. But it really just came, it came from God. I don't go to church. I don't really pump religion. But it came from God. Like he gave me the purpose, and you have to find something to live for beyond you.
Yep, 100%.
And truly believe that you don't even have to believe it. You have to know everything here is temporary. Everything. So what matters? And to me, what matters is how long are people going to know who Aaron Rouselle is when I'm not here anymore? I want to leave a legacy. Maybe that's my ego. Maybe that's selfish. But my legacy isn't money. Because if I leave these kids $10 million, they spend $10 million and they forget me. But if I leave Pop's culture, if I leave Broh baseball, it could last forever. Stuff like that matters. And I think that's what a lot of people get lost in the rat race. And don't let your job be your identity. There's so many people who they introduce themselves. Hey, I'm so-and-so. I'm an electrician. You're a lot more than an electrician. Why is that the first thing you do?
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot of people, they don't do enough things for themselves that they love. They do things that they have to so they can buy things and check off all the boxes. We're not designed to check off boxes. We are designed to love each other. Think about kids. Kids don't know what hate is. Kids don't know what money is. They don't know what anything is. They wake up and they know what love is. They wake up and they smile and they recognize your voice as soon as they come out. They know they may not know who mom and dad are, but they know the sounds, they know the voices. And I think that's why I'm drawn to kids, is because it's pure, it's love. Adults usually have ulterior motives, and I see that every day with pops. And it doesn't turn me away from helping them, but I've noticed like people are a lot more eager to help me when they can benefit from what I'm doing. And that's fine. I know that's human nature, and no ill feelings towards anyone who does that, especially because I've had close friends who do that. Because pops isn't always in the front of their mind until they need it. But for me, it's always in the front of my mind because it's my baby, it's my life, and it could be everyone. And it's a culture of love that I just wish everyone could feel.
Yeah, it seems pure. You use that word pure, talking about kids, and never been to pops, just seen kind of what you do on social media and whatnot, and that's a word that I would use to describe it. Like it feels like there's no agenda here.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
It feels like, and I think intent matters, and I think it seems to me that you have very good intentions about what you're doing.
Oh, and so that's what I make my moves. Like I have no plan, but I have the intentions. I have an idea of where I think these kids need, and no disrespect to our education system, I think it sucks. I think it's designed to teach kids to be employees. Why do these kids buck the system? We're born to create, be individuals, and be imaginative. What adults still use their imaginations? What adults are still creating anything on their own? You give a kid a stick, and he can turn it into anything. I give you a stick, no disrespect. What is it going to be? A stick. Because someone told you it's a stick.
Right.
Who's to say that person was right? Nobody really knows. That stick can be anything you want it to be.
Yeah.
And that's, as corny as that is, that helps. Like and that's what I tell the kids. Like you don't, like anything can be anything you want it to be. Don't put yourself in a box. Go use your imagination. That's the kids that shine the most at pops, or the kids that suck at school, because I let them be kids. I let them do their own thing. I'm not trying, and I say this to parents too. I don't want to do anything. The kids go out there on the turf. I stay over here and chill and sit on the computer and work on my websites and work on other things. I intervene when they argue or when they're whining and complaining. I cut that out quick, and I let them know, like, guys, we don't argue. We're not complaining, you know. And then when they always complain, because the ones who are good at sports, like Squirrely Dan back there spinning in circles, they, like, all the best players want to be on the same team when they first start. I'm like, guys, like, no, we're not doing that, because they avoid challenges, because that's what society's teaching them to do. When things get hard, they don't want to do it. So let's like, it'll be the best players versus the worst players, and then everyone's complaining, that's not fair, that's not fair. And then I don't even get up anymore. I just yell, life's not fair, just be better. And because that's what it is. Like, nothing's ever going to be fair. And like, so there is no purpose, there is no plan. But like you said, there's intent. I want these kids to keep being kids as long as they can, because I truly believe that's what kept me alive. My mind never stopped working when my body quit, because I am childish. And if you read the Bible, which I don't because it's boring and it's worded funny, but I know it says a lot of times, be like a child.
Yeah.
Do things that kids do. Watch kids. Kids don't hate. Kids don't do anything but be kids. And like I said, you know, give them what, like, they don't even know what this is until we show them, and then it rots their brain, and we become so distracted. But use your imagination. Let your phone be whatever you want to be. Turn it into a rock and skip that thing in the river so you never see it again. I can't do that because I love my phone. And it's literally runs everything that I do. So it's a necessary evil. And I teach these kids to find the balance. Utilize your resources. Use your phone as a tool to get better at whatever you love, because you can create everything you want with that. And like the athletes, you know, instead of just scrolling mindless TikTok, scroll things that's going to make you better. And I tell them all the time, what you do with your free time says a lot about you. And if you're sitting there wasting your time, then that's, you know, you're not really going to get to your goals. But if you stay young, stay creative, and keep imagining, keep dreaming and manifesting what you want, you may not become that pro baseball player, but you could work your way up through the ranks and find another way to be a part of baseball. Or, you know, even when I was young in high school, I wanted to be an NBA star and then open up a facility and have my own indoor basketball court. Never made it to the NBA. Got an indoor basketball court.
Yeah.
That's
There's
awesome.
different ways to the dream. And, you know, when I went to Spain to play basketball in the transplant games, I had an opportunity to play pro basketball in Scotland. A guy said, hey, man, you're really good. You got a lot left in the tank. He's like, you ever think about playing in Scotland? Because these 3 players on Great Britain, they play in our Scotland Pro League. Usually, you can make $40,000 playing basketball. I was like, nah, I'm cool, and I went home to my family. I don't want to be a pro athlete anymore. And thinking back, like, it was never going to happen. But God took me where I wanted to be anyway, because He's got me. So why worry when you know God's got you? Like, what is there to worry about? Like, I check my bank account and I get sad because I can't go buy Starbucks. I can't buy this. But then I'm like, oh, well, I'll make my own coffee. I don't need a coffee today. You know what I mean? It's we've become so money centric and money focused, and that's like everyone's out chasing their bag. I don't need a bag. Just need God. I'm cool. That's all I need. God, give me God, AJ, my daughters, sometimes his mom. It's like, I love you, Allie. But it's just like you surround yourself with like-minded people, good people, and
keep it simple.
Yeah, and life is beautiful, like especially where we live, man. We live in such a beautiful place. I've lived in upstate New York. I've lived in Florida. I wouldn't mind going back to Florida. But just because I could play baseball all the time.
Year round.
But this place is incredible. But so many people get lost in, there's crackheads everywhere. There's this, there's that. They don't bother you. If someone's going to rob you, they're going to rob you, but they haven't yet. And I truly believe, knock on wood, it's because I don't do anything negative. Like, I just put out good. And if we just focus on the good, and even actually someone stole AJ's bike last summer. I don't care. They're just things, and we get so obsessive. Like, most people, like, if someone else gets their bike stolen, it's going to be on Facebook. Oh, some jerk stole my bike. Oh, find this bike.
To the guy who stole my kid's bike.
Yeah, like, that guy ever going to say, that's so dumb. Like, you sound stupid to me. I don't care. Like, if the boy, I don't even know if he knows how to ride a bike. But he's had 3 of them. Can you ride a bike? Yeah. No,
he says he can. He says he can.
But it's the thing, like, what can I do? What'd you say? Well, lock it up. But what can you, like, what could I do if someone comes in my house and robs me? Be mad? What's that going to do for me?
Yeah.
I'm still going to have to get new stuff. And I had a really wild experience last year. So I have a friend who got shot. And I went and visited him in the hospital, and he seemed like he was in a really good place. He came home. He was not in a good place. He went right back to doing things he was doing, selling drugs, wanting to kill the person who shot him. He came to my house one night angry, like real mad, and to the point where I was a little concerned for my life. But I never got mad at him. I said, you got to do what you got to do and what feels right, but this ain't you. You're not this angry person. You're not this hateful person. And if you think I had something to do with you getting shot, handle it the way you feel you need to, but I'm not about that street life. And if you want to do good, you got a home here at Pops. And I would, like, he has such a good story. Because he's been to prison, he sold drugs, he got shot doing crime, and these kids need to hear his story. And I wish him nothing but the best. And if he came to me, I think he's in prison again now, so I'm safe for now. But if he got straight, I'd welcome him with open arms, even though I was concerned that he was going to, he was talking like he was ready to take my life. But I was willing to forgive him in that moment. Because what is it going to? What could I have done?
Harboring that negative stuff. What does it do for you?
It just makes you mad and miserable, and you hate the world.
Yeah.
Yep.
It
burns you up inside.
Yeah, and everybody's capable of that. They just got to get out of their way.
Yep.
But it's easier to be mad and sad.
Well, that would be good for him to tell a story. That's kind of the reason the 3 of us talk so much about the decisions we've made in the past, right?
Oh, yeah.
So the ones that have been through it, man. When you have a story to tell, don't hold back.
Gotta share your story.
Even if it's you change the life of one person, man. That's one person that you can help out.
That's 100%. Like even touching back on what you said, how you had your out of body experience. Like that'd be cool to just hear about it. Like I love hearing people that have felt things like that because there's not a lot of us out there. It's powerful, man. You should never be afraid to share something that's on your heart because you just don't know who's listening. And I don't know if you guys are all Facebook friends with me, but I go on rants all the time about things that are very real. And like, I love having tough, difficult conversations because that's how we grow. Stop avoiding confrontation.
100%, man.
Give me all the smoke.
100%.
Because like, it's actually, I don't even want smoke. I want the fire. Like, that's where it's hot. Like, we got to go through it. We got to stop running from it.
Yeah.
That's funny. Remember in business, Casey, we used to talk about that all the time, confrontation. People, it's a negative word, right? But when you confront somebody, like, it doesn't have to be like this big blow up or anything like that. It can be just, constructive criticism or doing whatever.
Solving.
And it's funny because today I read an article written by a baseball coach, in the Midwest or whatever, and he was talking about the same thing, and he used that word, confrontation. He's like, you need to start confronting your teammates about certain habits that they're doing, and it's made 100% sense.
That's a big one too for young athletes because they're so afraid to hold each other accountable.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
But if you like AJ's had his all-star team. They're 11, 12-year-olds. And their coaches didn't really have to coach a lot because they were doing it themselves. The kid would come in crying, and AJ and the other leaders on the team like, yo, like, suck it up. We got a game to win. And they did pretty well. And that's, as a coach, like, you have to teach your players to self-monitor and hold each other accountable if you really want your team to do well. And, like, not to toot our own horn, but one of our Broh baseball teams that we just threw together for fun, we played in 2 tournaments that everyone thought we were going to get smacked in. We ended up in second place because the way we coach, like, we make these kids be accountable. We don't cut them any slack. The parents get mad at us for it, but I'm like, I don't care. Like, and that's why I try to keep my fees and everything low, because when people pay for something, they feel like you owe them something. But with Pops, if you don't have to give me any money, but I'm going to do it my way, because maybe it's my ego, but I think my way is the best way. And the proof's in the pudding, man. These kids are shining, like, to the point I got offered a job to be the head school counselor at West Nottingham Academy, which is a job that you need a license, all kinds of degrees. I got nothing but me. And, like, I'm getting invited to IEP meetings at schools now that they, like, the parents want me there, the counselors want me there, but the higher ups say no because I don't check enough boxes.
Right.
But I'm not.
Well, that's a problem. That is a qualification.
Yeah.
To a point.
And that's what stinks is, like, I don't have a PhD, but I got a PhD in life. And, like, but because I don't have the letters by my name, no one really respects my opinion, so I don't need your respect. So
just keep doing what you're doing.
Yep.
I appreciate it.
Experiences are better anyway, right?
I know plenty of teachers with PhDs that are terrible at what they do.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, right. It doesn't qualify you, you know. School does not qualify you to be a good leader, you know, to do the right thing for kids. And I just, I appreciate everything you're doing, because you're truly making a difference, and you guys too. All of you know, I'll say us. I feel like I'm making a difference too, but I feel like we're trying to, you know, we're making a difference in the community by, you know, being an example that we want to see, and, you know, not just going along with, you know, the school route, or, you know, whatever it is that you see around you. I talk about this all the time, that if you see something around you don't like, it's your responsibility to be the change you want to see.
Yeah.
And you know, I could just see you doing that with this, and just so many parallels to what we talk about, Jace, all the time with, you know, different guys like the program that you're in, and like the campaigns, like people that just, they go in, they do what they know they were, like, made to do, born to do, and then they get famous all of a sudden, and you see this Instagram thing, and it's like, man, I want to do that, but they didn't do it to get famous on Instagram. They did it because that was their calling, their passion, and then people saw that.
And it was 10 years in the making.
And then 10, 20 years goes by, and then you got this guy that's like, he seems larger than life, but the people, they're just real, genuine, you know, pure. They have intentions not on getting rich, but on really making a difference, and that's why they've lived this life for so long. And then, you know.
And that's what I've noticed too, is, like, the consistency of it. Like, even with this, like, you've probably started this podcast and everyone's like, oh, that's not going to work. That's not going to be this. Like, why are you putting your limits on what you guys are doing? If you're consistent, it's going to work. And like for how you just said, how, like, you feel like you're a part of something, you are now a part of Pops. You are now a part of Broh, because you give me a platform to tell my story. And, like, words don't do any justice to, like, my appreciation of that, but I value real life experience and relationships and bonds more than anything. And I was laying in bed last night talking to Allie, and, like, because I had a pretty cool conversation with a pretty big influencer, and I was like, man, Allie, like, this could be the one that really puts us on. And I was like, we could be rich. And I was like, you know what? I'll never be rich. I was like, because if I get $1 million, I'm going to give it away. Like, it's going to be gone. Because I can make $1 million impact. Because right now, I think I got like $60, so I'm making a $60 impact. But that's the best I can do, and I'm okay with that. So many people, like, if someone else was in my situation, they'd be panicking. Oh my God, how am I going to pay this? Someone calls, hey, you need to pay your bill. You're behind. I don't have it. I'm not wasting. Like, what's panicking about not being able to pay a bill going to do? How many people do you know freak out, like, in the real estate world? How many times do you hear people, I don't know if I can afford my mortgage. I got to do this, this, and this. Okay, great. It sucks. You may lose your house. Like, a lot of people are, a month away from being homeless. So keep that in the back of your mind. And obviously, you got to pay your bills and make ends meet. But if you put good in the world, and if you create a good network, like, if I lose my house, I'm not going to be homeless. I'm going to live with Jason.
You can find
but I have people that are going to, like, it's happened. Like,
that's how I feel as well.
Times, like, I don't need $1 million in my bank because I got $1 billion in people.
And
invest in each other.
Yeah. I want to say, too, and maybe we could wrap up with this, but what Bradley always talks about, he tells people, you know, in these conversations, like, if I were to give you, you know, $1 million, how would you feel? Or $10 million? And people are like, oh, that'd be amazing. And he's like, what if I said that you couldn't wake up tomorrow? Would you want the $1 million? Would you want the $10 million?
And they all say no.
No, of course not. Are you kidding me? One day? And he's like, so why don't you wake up every single day? Like, I just gave you $1 million or $10 million or whatever your number is, because that's what you're getting. You're telling me that's worth more than the money, right?
Yeah. And that's
so
what,
live your
what
life
I
like
went
that.
through.
Absolutely.
That's what my life has become. It's giving me that perspective. I've had the $1 million and snatch, and I saw how quick it goes away. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that mindset is exactly what I get, and I'm blessed by the best to have it.
Yep.
It's awesome, man.
It's great, man.
It's been awesome having you
Didn't I
both.
tell you? I tell you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready to run through a wall.
I'd say I reached out to Casey. I'm like, dude, you got to meet this dude, man. You got to meet him. So it's just being with Aaron, man. It's just I've visited Pops a couple times.
Yeah.
It's great, and he does. He sits there, works. The kids come over. Hey, man, you guys figure it out. You got to figure it out, right?
Yeah.
And that's talking about experiences, right? When you start experiencing things at a younger age and start problem solving at a younger age,
They literally have no
and
idea.
not having your parents do stuff for you. You know what I mean? It's just you're going to grow up, and
these
you're just going
parents.
to know how to react, right?
I bet you I say 10 times a day, I'm using my brain, you got to use your own. Because they don't want to think for it. Like, I literally had a kid walk up to me today. Coach Aaron, where's the charger for the Switch? And I lose my mind with that. I'd be like, what are you doing? Go look for it. I'm not going to look for it for you. What do you think this is?
Yeah.
And because they know, they go to mom or dad and like, where's this? Oh, I'll get it for you. No, like, we're not going to be here forever. And that's another, like, he saw that. And like, that's why we're super tight. But at the same time, like, and I'm almost in like hurry up mode to prepare him for life. But it's created such an awesome relationship because I know if I'm not here, he's good, and 50,000 other people got him.
Yeah.
That's what you want as a parent, to know when your time comes that your kids are going to be good without you. And like, obviously he's going to be way better with me because I'm clearly incredible.
Yeah.
But
and they're going to be good people.
yeah, they're not knuckleheads. I don't got to worry
That's
about
important,
someone shacking up with his mom who's a turd.
Yeah.
That's not ever going to fly because he's got 10,000 dads, and that's what it is. It's Pop's culture. We're all father figures, and that's just Pop's culture. Just another play on father figure because that name was taken. So I use Pop's culture, and it worked. I can't take credit for that. That was God. I didn't do it. I'm just here.
And this guy don't even read his Bible. Hey,
I tried. I got it through the introduction. An introduction.
Genesis.
Psalm 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. Seems like you already have that down.
This is the only. I read the ones on my arm.
There you go.
And you know what's crazy?
And you never lose it.
I got this at 18 and no idea what it meant. It says, for a man falls 7 times, he rises again. I have fell twice now. Keep getting up.
Yeah.
Keep coming back. So, like, you could say you don't have to believe in God, but I do. And he's here. He's power. It's just, everything just falls together. I'm not planning it. Like you said, it's the intent. It's not my intent.
Well, and they know it too. When you start living a life where you're trying to do good, and you are good, things will just fall into place for you, man. It's just crazy.
That karma's
and you
real.
eliminate some of the things that hold you back.
Yeah,
'Cause
it's
I know I
literally
eliminated
that-
a lot of things that held me back for years and years. So
It's that universal intelligence, man.
Yeah.
It's when you put things out. I mean, that's what you get back.
Yeah.
yep.
That's
Yep.
what you get back.
And sadly, man, I see it. I see people on Facebook still to this day, like they just
Not just
I'm
some,
praying
the
for them. Yes, the
majority.
majority.
Yeah.
Dude. And I'm like, man, I just hope they figure it out before it's too late.
That's like
It's
we
one
got
of
it.
the
We
things
we have our
worry about.
algorithms
Yep.
online, but we got to change our lifestyle algorithms.
Yeah.
And that's what's been cool too. Like with my Facebook algorithm, I don't see no negativity. It's just like it's a lot. And the harsh reality of it too, by not seeing any negativity, I don't see very many people's posts. I see, Buddha's posts, Bob Marley posts over and over again, like ads and stuff like that, and like memes from pages that I would like, because my algorithm's not negative. So I'm not going to see any friends' negativity.
I need to do that. I need to change that up.
Yeah,
I don't know how to do that.
It's
I'm not tech savvy.
You gotta
enough to do
stop
that.
clicking on the
no clickbait.
politic memes.
It's all peace, love, and baseball on my thing.
Yeah, you gotta stop sending some of those memes that you've been sending.
Yeah, you are the meme king.
Yeah. Dude, this has been awesome, man. Aaron, it's great having you in. Jason, appreciate it. Where can people go to find and like just support Pop's culture, everything you're doing there, everything you're doing with Broh Baseball?
So Facebook is probably our biggest tool. That's where I post everything, and I write a lot. Like that's like my vice is writing. So I write blogs every morning. It'll send you to my website, popsculture.org. And that's like, you can, if you want to donate or just get volunteer. Really, the doors, like I literally leave the door open because I'm too cheap to turn the AC on. The door's open. We're right on Biggs Highway coming in the rising sun. Like anytime anyone wants to stop by, like stop by. Like I need adult interaction because these kids are, they wear on it. Stop by, come
Shoot
out.
some hoops.
But yeah, so
hit some BP.
yeah, you can do whatever you want. That's why I love when
So,
other people come play horse with these kids or wiffle ball. But yeah, brobaseball.com,
Okay.
popsculture.org. Like we're all over the internet.
BROH.
BROH,
Yep.
bro.
And Broh Baseball League will be starting up here soon, so just people
Awesome.
reach out with their
Week after Labor Day.
Fast-paced baseball.
Okay.
Faster paced baseball. And
Baseball's
just
not boring.
No, baseball is not boring. Baseball is everything.
Maybe it'll bring me back.
Yeah.
Hey, come
We're
play
gonna
some
start
bro
an adult league.
baseball.
Yeah.
We could do an over 30 bro baseball.
Yeah,
league.
there you go.
That sounds
There you
fun.
go.
I'd be in for that.
Save the arms and just get a ton of reps in and see how much we really suck.
Yeah. As long as Jason is pitching, I'm in.
I make everybody feel good. When I
Oh,
throw a
you've
BP.
never seen me swing.
So, but yeah, thanks guys for
No,
having us.
I
man.
really appreciate it. Like
Yep, it was
I
good.
value time more than anything. So the fact that you guys spent, I think you said a half an hour is what you want. I think we've been here for over an hour. I
It's been
appreciate
awesome.
you.
This has been great.
good.
Very
Yeah,
powerful
appreciate
stuff.
the message and
And
everything
just so you guys know
doing.
too, I actually just got in with a travel baseball, local travel baseball team. A lot of people think travel baseball competes against Little League, but I'm trying to merge the two, basically, kind of like something going on with some local kids. So if anybody has any questions about that, they can always reach out to me or Aaron too. So
Awesome.
Awesome.
All right.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. It's been fun.
Yep.
That was
So,
awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Thank y'all.